Hi there, welcome to the channel. This is Mike with Mr. Fido Reefing. Super excited to kind of bring you some content around the Eshopps Mariner series of aquariums. I've been in the aquarium hobby for a little while now, a little bit over 10 years, and like many of you all out there, really knee deep in the freshwater side of things. I have two young kids. My eldest, my daughter Lucy, her and I went down the road of the betas, and then we graduated into larger tanks. We ended up getting a couple of 10-gallon tanks for each of the kids' room. We started stocking those with different types of freshwater fish. I wanted to go more exotic, so I ended up buying a main display for my living room. I bought a 85-gallon tank, and it housed some beautiful African cichlids that I was really proud of. Everything from Mbuna to peacocks and whatnot. All along the way, my daughter was like, "Oh, can we get like a clownfish? Can we get into salt water, some corals?" Naturally, I'm not going to say no to my beautiful daughter. So we ended up replacing her freshwater tank with a saltwater nano tank. We ended up going with a Hello Reef tank, mostly because we were novices. We didn't know what we were doing. They had beautiful video series to walk you through everything, and almost everything, including a coupon for your first clownfish, was included in that Hello Reef tank kit. So we ended up going that route, and man, that tank is flourishing. We got a couple of clowns in there. We got a couple peppermint shrimps, a cleaner shrimp, and some beautiful SPS and LPS and a couple softy corals all in there, and they're just growing at an extreme rate. Learned a lot. And then I ended up buying a Red Sea Nano Max XL for the room that I'm in, my Lego room here, and the tanks over here on my right hand side, predominantly LPS and SPS. Got some beautiful designer clowns in there, got a 6-line wrasse, a few cardinals, just a beautiful, beautiful fun tank. And that's where my daughter and I learned a lot about chemistry, water chemistry, parameters, salinity, just learning all the entry-level things, right? So now the bugs bit us both, and we want to upgrade our main freshwater display tank to a larger saltwater display tank. So we're faced with choices, and it's overwhelming out there. It's just overwhelming. Everything from different manufacturers, sump, all-in-one, like what have you, right? Everything that I've heard is if you get to larger water volumes, you want to go with sump because it's going to help provide better filtration. You can add in refugiums to help export a lot of nutrients, including phosphates and whatnot. Just a lot more control over your system, and typically the more water volume, the better. So we started going down the research route, everything from thinking about Fiji Cube, Water Box, Red Sea again, which we've had great experience with as well. And then we also came across Eshopps. Eshopps was newer to the saltwater aquarium, large aquariums. They've been really known for their nano desktops aquariums, and also their sumps have just been really, really renowned out there. So I started just emailing some people, wanting to learn more, and as I emailed, I started to look for content online. And that's where the idea for these video series came from. I couldn't find a lot of content regarding the Eshopps Mariner, any of them, other than a couple of Reefapaloozas or interview with Mr. Saltwater Tank with Scott, who is the representative for Eshopps. So I ended up emailing them just to learn a little bit more. And lo and behold, I got an email back, and I thought it was just going to be your traditional customer service rep, which is fine. But Scott ended up emailing me back, and I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, "Is this Scott from the interviews online?" He's like, "Yep, that's me." So we just got to talking, and I got to tell you, Scott is a very kind gentleman, lots of experience. If you know him, you probably know this. I did not. I've never met Scott in my life, met him over the phone. We just started talking about our love for the hobby and all these things. And then he started asking me questions about where I wanted to go with my new tank and all these different things. And he broke it down for me. I wouldn't say a novice anymore. I would be classified as an enthusiast, but I'm on this learning journey. And this guy, Scott from Eshopps, just broke it down brilliantly, didn't make me feel stupid, just a fantastic person to talk to, and just really put me at ease on just what Eshopps stood for, why they designed the things that they did, what went into their creative design process, etc. And Scott, I found out, used to work for a large company in the industry, won't name it, not my business to tell, but he left and retired. And Eshopps contacted him thinking like, hey, we need some help with these larger aquariums. We want to have you help us with the design process. You have full creative reign. And he jumped back in and he told me about some of the failures of other companies and other aquariums that don't give great peace of mind. And I think that's what really sold me. All the different things that went into their design puts the consumer first, so that you don't have water leaks, you don't have a worry of the furniture degrading over time, etc. It makes it so that you have peace of mind for years to come. So that's where I'm going to start this series, part 1 here that we're in, with why I chose Eshopps, other than speaking to a gentleman by the name of Scott, who's wonderful. What sold me was the design features and how they really built this thing and over-engineered it and made it a tank, if you will, to ensure that it's going to be there for you and your family for years to come, especially as an investment, not only in the aquarium, but all the livestock you might be putting into this over time. Like you want to protect it. You want to make sure that it has a great house, etc. So that's what sold me on it. So let's start. Let's start with the Eshopps Mariner series. I ended up going with the M130, which is their 130 gallon display. Technically it's 125, but it's their 130, right? There's a couple of great features that I want to highlight that really sold me as I was talking to Scott. The first one is ultra low iron glass. I think this is pretty standard across the industry, but on the M130 and larger volumes, they have an M180 and now an M220. All of those will have 3/4 glass all the way around, and they're using corner guards to ensure that you have the best protection against leaks, and they're using German Wacker silicon. What's really unique is they also want to ensure that the bottom is braced and supported, not only through their stand but also the glass. So they're using 3/4 inch glass on the bottom. And let me tell you, my current 85 gallon tank, which I'll leave the name brand out, had a small leak in it. I only found out because I do weekly water changes for that tank, and I noticed there was an area where I wiped up some water at the bottom glass where it meets the furniture, and when I wiped it, the water didn't go away. So I wiped it again, didn't go away, and my worst nightmare was confirmed. I had a small leak somewhere. So I had to quickly rehome all my African cichlids, and lo and behold, as I took the aquarium off, I found the crack on the bottom of the aquarium. That's where the water leaked out. And to see a company go to the nth degree to brace the bottom and also use really top quality glass as well on the bottom, I think that's a really good value proposition in my opinion. Additional bonus, in the M180, I don't know if the smaller ones have it or not, but you are going to get the VCA random flow generators. I have this random flow generator in my Hello Reef tank for my daughter's room, and I have it also in my Red Sea Nano Max XL. Love it. Love the flow that it outputs, and love how it does kind of mimic the ocean a little bit more from a flow standpoint. So fantastic to see that they include that here in your purchase. The other thing that I got really excited about when talking with Scott was the marine grade plywood. And this was important to me as I was dealing with the leak on my current 85 gallon freshwater, because in that week's worth of time tops, that little bit of water warped the top wood that was the tank was sitting on, that came with the tank. And to me, that's just bad design. It doesn't give me peace of mind, and I probably will never buy that brand again. I'm in the middle of fighting warranty. Can you believe that? Fighting warranty to get that tank replaced as we speak. because I didn't do anything to it. That crack developed, did nothing to it, right? But going back to this though, Eshopps decided to utilize marine grade plywood to ensure that's built to last for years to come for you and your family and all the livestock animals you're going to put into it. They use a epoxy that's baked in on the exterior of the furniture that is designed to work in marine environments. That's killer to me. Chef's kiss on that. Like, why wouldn't you do this on any furniture that's being made out there for marine tanks? That's just common sense, and it makes sense, and I'm glad Eshopps is doing this. Fantastic. So great job to them. That sold me right there. Really excited about that. Some additional features and benefits that you're going to see. You got standard US measurements for the plumbing. All that's going to be included in your purchase, so you don't have to buy additional plumbing. You are going to see the sump. It is an acrylic sump, and you will have room for refugium on the 130 and larger aquarium, so you'll have all that. It is going to be pre-plumbed with 4 filter socks, as you see in the website there, but you can remove that filter sock, I think, on almost every model, and put in your favorite fleece roller mat that you like. So that's really good design. I think that's pretty standard across the industry. Let's take a look a little bit more at some of the internal specs of the M130. So here on the web page, you'll see at the top all the different models that they have. The M130, as I mentioned earlier, technically it's actually a 125 gallon display in water volume. With the 40 gallon sump, you're going to get 165 gallon. The unit itself will measure 60 by 22 by 22. I went with an internal sump to help save some space as it sits against the wall in my dining room to allow my guests so they can move their seats back. I know that's kind of controversial. A lot of people love the external overflow boxes so that you can put more of your aquascape in there. I don't mind it so much because room is limited, and the 130 is really maxing out what I can actually put in that area. So went with an internal display or internal overflow box. It'll be plumbed directly into the sump. Speaking of the sump, 40 gallons as we were talking about. It measures 36 by 16 by 16. It is acrylic, that as mentioned before. 10 gallon refugium built in. So you will have an area to play with that. This will be my first go with a refugium. I'm gonna learn along the way. I'm probably gonna put some Miracle Mud in there and use some Chaetomorpha, maybe some seed lettuce. I don't know, whichever one works better. To help export some nutrients, but that's going to be a part of this learning journey as well. And then as you scroll down a little bit, some additional things, including a leveling mat that's built in. That's pretty much standard across the industry that I've read into right now, but a great 4-year warranty. You don't have to register to get an additional 2 years, just a 4-year warranty that comes with the product, and hopefully will give you years of beautiful enjoyment with your tank. So yeah, that's the M130. You will see here that they have released their MP series, which is their Peninsula, Marine Peninsula. They have it from the 100 all the way up to the 220. For those that love the Peninsula look, for me and where I'm putting this, I needed a traditional forward-facing aquarium. You can get the stand in black and or white. And as we speak, my tank is going to be delivered tomorrow. It's scheduled for tomorrow, so I'm super excited to hopefully videotape the crate delivery and everything. That way I can show you how it's delivered and all that. I do have to work. I do have a full-time job. This is just this YouTube channel, and what I'm doing here is for the community, seeing that there's just not a lot of information regarding the Mariner series out there yet, other than some interviews and maybe 1 or 2 builds. So I wanted to really take everyone through that, take people through the different mistakes that I've learned along the way, what equipment I put in, and kind of give you my final verdict of this aquarium. So yeah, that's what I got for you for part 1. Just a little look into what the goals are. I am not sponsored by anybody. I'm not paid by anybody. These are my opinions and my opinions only. So do with that what you will. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, thanks for joining for part 1. I will sign off. And once we get part 2 up, we'll talk a little bit more about the furniture build. I'll document that for you all. I'll give you an overlook of the overflow setup and what I'm going to be doing with some valves and whatnot. And then part 3, I'll do an equipment overview of what I'm going to be using, and I'll show you some of the install on that. So that's what I got for you. Other than that, just want to say thank you for joining in. If you have any questions or any thoughts, feel free to put them into the comment section. That way, as I get into the build, if it's something that you all want to see, I can quickly add that in. Anyways, we'll see you in part 2. Thanks for joining. Bye.